It is a phenomenal time to be playing and modding Fallout 4. The game is hitting new player heights with some of the sales it's recently had, and overall the mod quality has just been top tier as of late. And in this video, hopefully I'll show you a couple of mods that you can add to your game that did just recently come out that will make things feel fresh. Whether you're a returning player or a new player, hopefully these mods will keep Fallout 4 interesting for you and maybe even get you to start a new playthrough. But this video will not only help you freshen up Fallout 4, it's also going to help you freshen up your life. And that's thanks to today's video sponsor, Bespoke Post, which is going to be a monthly membership club that will bring you some amazing new products that you probably never heard of, and it's completely free to join, and you could even skip a month if you don't like what you're getting. The way it'll work is you fill out a quiz, and each month Bespoke Post will introduce you to completely new products they think you're interested in. It could be outdoor gear, barware, or even live oysters. Every box will have about $70 worth of goods inside, but won't cost you nearly that much. But hey, maybe it's not worth $70 to you. So each month you'll get a preview of your upcoming box and decide if you want to keep it, swap it out for a different box, or even just skip the month entirely for no extra charge. You will only ever pay for what you want with Bespoke Post. The Explorer box was one of my favorites. It came with the M8 water bottle and Survival LED headlamp, which are both just always good to have. But the king here was the Nomad packable backpack. This tiny little pouch could turn into an entire backpack that makes it perfect for travel and can easily fit in a suitcase, and you take it out once you get to your location. The stealth box came with the very sharp and very sleek looking Bare Edge knife, which is a great brand by the way, a stealth money clip, the James Bond-like 7-in-1 tool pen, and a key capsule which is absolutely perfect for attaching to your keys and storing some of the meds you need. Like for me, allergy pills in the summer because I literally die in the summer. So don't wait and get 20% off your first box just by clicking that link down below in the description, or at checkout enter code JuiceH20. Thanks again to Bespoke Post for sponsoring this video. Looking back at Fallout 4, we have a mod that I think is just going to become people's default weapon mod for a lot of players. You reinstall the game, look to download some weapons, and this will be one of the first things you choose. And what I'm talking about is Rifles Rebirth, as what this will do is add in 6 incredibly lore-friendly weapons into Fallout 4, and these really fill out the full range of rifles. You have an SMG with the TNP-45, a battle rifle with the IF-54, a very AK-looking assault rifle with the TD-64, a nice combat rifle with the LR-72, which is probably my personal favorite, an LMG with the WH-77, and last but certainly not least, the IFAM-50, an anti-material rifle for those particularly beefy enemies. And these weapons are fully integrated into the game. You're going to have a bunch of different customization options for each of them, and I think one of the appeals for this pack overall is not only it's a weapon pack. Fallout 4 basically never gets weapon packs. You have to download like 45 individual weapon mods. So the fact that this comes with 6 customizable weapons that feel very lore friendly is a huge plus, but I think it's that lore friendly nature that'll draw a lot of people to it. A lot of these weapons just feel like they could have been in Fallout 4. The design is very similar to Bethesda's design. It's not really that modern military theme you see with a lot of other Fallout 4 weapon mods. It almost does feel like you're adding a mini weapon DLC to Fallout 4. And if some of the weapons in this pack do look or sound familiar, it's because some of these are actually re-releases of older weapons released by this author. Some of these older ones being some of the quintessential options in the earlier days of Fallout 4 modding, and this is going to be a great weapon pack to actually fill out the rifle category. The default assault rifle in Fallout 4 sucks, I think everyone knows that, and now you have quite a few additional options to replace that, as well as they will be integrated in vendors, on other NPCs, and there's even some static spawn locations that you could stumble upon in the world. Okay, so now you get some new weapons, but you need some actual new content to take advantage of those weapons. And next up, we do have Commonwealth Killer. This coming from the Commonwealth Story expansion team. This mod is exceptional. It is going to add in a new bounty office into Fallout 4. And honestly, that is a sentence I probably said at least like 3 times in videos. There's a lot of mods adding in a bounty system, but this bounty mod is actually going to be a bit different. It's not just going to be a simple, okay, here's person X, you have to go there and take them out and then come back and get another bounty and keep doing that a bunch of times to get caps or some other reward, but rather this mod's going to be a more story-focused and character-driven experience. Each of the bounties you're sent on are going to have these incredibly interesting characters that will give you a chance to talk to them, or at least on many of these, you'll have to actually interact with the person you're sent to take out. As well as there are even some core characters giving you the bounties, and even another bounty hunter character that you'll have to compete with somewhat. And of course, what is critical in a mod like this is the voice acting, and the voice acting here is top tier. They describe it as professional quality, and well, I'll just let you hear it for yourself.
The Marshal told me. He collected the bounty, so you're not getting anything from this. However, I do have another job, if you want to go and get it before he does.
Another delicious rat. They keep coming, like moths to a flame. Don't worry, little rat, it'll be over soon.
To me, that is exceptional. That is genuinely professional quality, and at no point does the voice acting take you out of the mod. In many ways, it actually adds a lot to it. It's a relatively short experience overall, but not too short. There are hours of content here, not minutes. And it's one of those things that I just find a lot of fun. It does have that background bounty theme. At the end of the day, your goal is to take out certain enemies, but it's the characters that are introduced to you, the voice acting around them, that makes this all just a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. I hope we get more mods from this team like this in the future, because this is just what you love to see with this category. To me, this is a quest mod done right and something you should definitely download for a good few hour long experience. But if you do want another lore-friendly weapon mod to just permanently add in the background in Fallout 4, we have the American 180, aka the 22 SMG from Fallout New Vegas. This thing is awesome, probably one of my favorite new weapon mods to come to this game. It is the core version you know and love, which is basically a carbon copy of what was in New Vegas. It has the integrated suppressor and no stock, exactly the same weapon we had before, but it has a mountain of customization options also. You could turn this thing into some modern monstrosity with rail systems, crazy scopes, and all kinds of other things attached to it. And one of the cool parts about this weapon and its customization is there's clearly thought put into the customization options here. Some are just going to be fairly surface level and obvious, like with a scope, you know you're going to get that, or what skin you apply to it, but others have a genuine stat difference and even some lore behind them, like some of the receivers being hunting focused and being semi-automatic and having their own pros or cons. Some of the receivers are specifically made for police, or even some are military grade, but it's all very well implemented with a ton of different ammo types to choose from and all of the customization options having perk requirements. And some of the top tier ones have some weird or different perk requirements, like requiring something out of the charisma tree. It's not just relying on gun nut 4. If you want the top tier, there's a bit more uniqueness going on here, and I really appreciated that. And of course, what is probably one of the premier aspects, it's just a ton of fun to use. You have an absurdly large magazine where you could just dump bullets into enemies, whether that be at point blank range or even from afar, and it is a weapon that not only has a ton of customization options, but also is just a ton of fun to use. This is another example of what I think is just a perfect weapon mod, having that lore-friendly nature, being a weapon from a past game, but having just a ton of extras on top of that that make it its own unique thing in Fallout 4. Then we do have Age of Steel, which will add Cybermen into the Commonwealth. Cybermen are reportedly from Doctor Who. I've never seen Doctor Who, and honestly, it doesn't really matter because they fit surprisingly well into this game. As functionally in-game, Cybermen are going to be a new tier of synth enemies that can pop up, which are effectively synths in power armor. And I gotta say, these actually look pretty incredible. They have a custom built-in laser on their arm, which is just a really nice added touch to make them feel unique and special. They're going to pop up just about anywhere that synths pop up, and these actually do a pretty good job at breaking up the monotony that are the synths in the early game. Later game, you do have a bit more variation, but early on, you will find Cybermen among synths, and it makes them a more interesting threat, as well as actually more of a threat as these Cybermen have a lot of armor. And although that really is the core of the mod and what makes it good, there's definitely more here. There's also rejected Cybermen, which are a different variant where an upgrade failed on them, and they functionally have turned into a feral ghoul, except it's a feral ghoul in power armor. They of course have a bit of a different appearance, but perhaps more importantly, they are just incredibly terrifying. They will run at you full speed, but they're in power armor, so it's almost like a power armored ghoul. It's really just a big challenge and an interesting enemy to have spread throughout the Commonwealth. But also, as you do take out all of these various Cybermen variants, you'll notice that they drop some things that you may want for yourself. And if you head over to a chem station, you'll be able to craft your own set of power armor and a weapon, specifically scooping the brain out of the power armor helmet, as the rest of the pieces you can just find on the enemies. The power armor looks really good. It looks just as good as it does on the Cybermen, but now you'll have a set for yourself. And I like the integration of this. It's a bit more fun or interesting than just having a manually placed set in one location. Overall, it's kind of a simple and not necessarily lore friendly, but otherwise really nice mod. I think there's a lot of attention added to how this was implemented, and it shows. Adding them in among the level list of the synths and kind of having them lore-wise be a synth creation makes a lot of sense. It does actually fit in pretty well in Fallout 4. There's not many mods adding in new enemies to begin with, and I like the way this one is added. In addition, it's really nice that you can get your own power armor and a new weapon in the end also. Flourishing Salem is going to be a bit of a different one. It'll give the ability to turn the existing Salem location in Fallout 4 into a full-fledged working town. To achieve this, you're going to have to do the typical Salem quest of setting up the turrets around town for Barney, and after a bit of time passes after you do that, you'll notice a whole host of new NPCs move into Salem and are going to be very pleased with you for clearing out some of the enemies and having the defenses set back up. The mod will add in a variety of named vendors that'll set up shop on the main road here, and the citizenry overall will be very thankful to you for clearing things out and will actually give you 2 new player homes. You'll be able to set up shop here. One of them is particularly cool in that it has a bunch of windows so you can see the overall town and what's happening around you. It kind of has a modern design, and some of the NPCs will even pay taxes to you, so you'll be able to get a few caps here or there for saving this town. There's even a few other unique interactions that I don't want to spoil, but the town overall can actually grow with new settlers arriving, and you'll be able to assign them. And overall, this mod's just kind of a fun one. It's a relatively simple mod at its core, but I love the concept of properly expanding what was an otherwise underutilized location. Makes Salem actually a pretty viable town, especially for vendors and shopping, but also someplace you can learn to call home. In the future, it would be absolutely amazing to see some other updates or even other mods add on to this mod and add quests here. That would really take this to the next level and turn it into a truly special Fallout 4 experience. Overall though, it's a very interesting time to be playing and experiencing Fallout 4. In about a year's time, we know we're going to be playing Starfield. I'm pretty sure just about all of you watching this will at least think about trying to play Starfield. So for me, I do feel like this is kind of the last hurrah. The next 12 months will be the last major videos I have on Fallout 4 mods, and although I'll still cover the major releases, of course, we're going to have a big attention shift to Starfield once that comes out. And inevitably, that modding scene will be absolutely massive, not to mention all the other lore videos to make, but for now, we have so many good Fallout 4 mods coming out to hold us over, and actually have several other Fallout 4 mod videos on the way to really kind of show you how good this game has gotten with mods as of late. So get subscribed if you're interested in those. With that said, as always, again, I thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.